My name is Karaba Manyama, and this is Dress Her in Dignity. We are having an impact that lasts for more than a moment here at Latita Africa. And who better to have a conversation with than rather to speak to a leading lady, a powerhouse of note, a boss woman. And this is Mrs. Ncazelo. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. It's lovely to be in this amazing space and to have the opportunity to talk to you. Yeah.
Certainly is a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for honoring the invite.
Yeah.
So I I would like to find out who is Mam Ncazelo.
Um, Ncazelo is a psychologist and a narrative therapist, which basically means I specialize in using stories to help people to recover from trauma and the effects of hardships in their lives. So I am a healer. I like to talk about being a wounded healer because, in my own life, I know what it means to struggle. I know what pain and, psychological pain feels like. And so this is what I do. I help people to overcome the effects of trauma through the work that I do.
Sure. When we talk about a powerful woman who leads, I'm saying how you lead. So the healing starts with leading yourself through healing, and then you are able to impact others through healing them.
Of course, and I think healing is a lifelong journey, and it's when you meet people, their stories inspire you. They help you to be stronger. They touch parts of your life, because as people, there's so much to who we are, and yeah, so it's a life of perpetually healing, and also, being in spaces where you heal others and help them to be stronger. Yeah.
I'm inspired already. We haven't even started speaking.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this woman who leads, right? I'd like you to just from a leadership perspective, tell us about a moment when you realized that your competence alone would not be enough to carry your voice within a specific space. And when you realized that, what exactly did you do to overcome it?
Um, I think it was some time back in 2016 when I'd been invited to London to witness the work that I had created and the impact that it had. I think I had no idea what I was going to be witnessing on that particular day in a conference. So I walk into a room and I see that there are about 300 psychologists and mental health practitioners who use my work. I was totally shocked. And my journey from that day was a lot to do with reclaiming my position as the creator of the methodology and then really trying to think about how I could be supportive to the people in that country who had so passionately taken up my ideas. And then I realized that to succeed in that particular venture, I needed to create a village and a community that would support me to do that. And so everything else that I've done since then has been with a lot of support of people overseas, people in the United Kingdom who really believed in my work, who've been amazing friends. I learned of the power of mentorship, people who were curious about you've achieved so much with your work. What are your dreams going forward? What do you want to do with your life? And having an opportunity to meet people like that who have mentored, supported, opened doors for me. And today my work is in 60 countries around the world. And it has been through, a mentorship and, just realizing the power of having your own village, even as a woman who pioneers and does things. Um, yeah, so that has been my huge lesson that yes, you could be good at creating ideas, but you will always need your own support system. You will always
Yes.
need mentorship. You will need someone to coach you along, the way, and that is why I think I've been able to achieve what I've achieved.
I love this message that you're sharing because I think as women we tend to fall short in that area
Yeah.
because we carry so much on our shoulders and we think we need to be the superwoman and we forget about being part of a village
Yeah.
and having a support structure that gives us that pedestal where we are able to just lean on or stand on and be able to just go and be great in the world.
Yeah, I really believe in that. And I would like to say that because I've embraced the philosophy of Ubuntu, I've embraced a lot of African ideologies, understanding about the village, that we need to belong to a village. And I can really say it is being rooted in those sorts of kind of values that has helped me to go further in my life. And so I really do believe, and I suppose a huge part of my work is showing the beauty of Africa, our knowledges, our wisdoms, and our skills. The methodologies I create tell that story of African excellence and just some of the most amazing values and principles that we have that we can be drawing on to, have success in our different ventures. I've never stopped being an African woman. I've not stopped preaching African philosophy. My methodologies are framed around Ubuntu and culture and so on. And that's what has helped me to go further.
Sure. Like I'm taken aback. It's like what? Yo, I think number one, the environment that we are sitting in is built on the foundational principles of the spirit of Ubuntu. And that was one of the critical points that we wanted to release through Dress Her in Dignity, to restore the woman back to her you know, back to the motherland, back to her African roots, and just be proud of carrying that spirit of Ubuntu within her. And you exude this so beautifully. So thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. So I still want to go back now to the leadership. So what has your leadership required or cost you that people never really get to see in the background?
It has cost me my sleep.
And we love our sleep. We love.
I think it has been definitely a lot of hard work. I've had to commit a huge part of my life, to do the work that I do. I've sacrificed a lot of my children's time, because I travel quite extensively.
And as a mom, that's a tall order. So having a supportive children that actually understand the mandate that you have
Yeah.
is amazing.
My children have been fantastic. My life partner has been great. He's just, allowed me to be who I am. So it does take, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work. But I always say that you need to believe in your own vision and show up for it. Be the first person who is there, because then people would then start to realize that you are serious and you really have an agenda. I really do believe in taking, the front seat and doing the hard work, being on the ground, and so on. So that is what it has really taken. I think the commitment, the hard work, consistency, but of course also the village, and being intentional about your relationships, having that support system in place, having the kind of relationships and connections that help you to go further. Yeah, so I don't want to look at my success as something that I've done because I'm a superwoman. I know that there is a community behind me. I'm a woman of faith and I do pray a lot. And those are the moments of my vulnerability. People don't know how much, whenever I have something going, I will spend nights and nights talking to God about every situation and every circumstance. And that has really helped to carry me through. So, yeah, so those are the things that people might not know. That I'll be on my knees from 12 to 2 a.m. in the morning and
The prayer
really
warrior.
talking to God about some of these ventures. Yeah.
I also love how you mentioned the life partner because as women, especially in Women's Month, we tend to sometimes just sideline
Yeah.
our better halves when they exist,
Yeah.
right? How do you show appreciation to a life partner that has showed up, that is consistently there, that understands the vision, that pushes you to continue with the narrative that you have shared with him? How do you show appreciation in Women's Month?
I think we need to acknowledge those who've held our hands and who've walked with us. And I just think, just an appreciation of, intentionally speaking out and showing our gratitude. Thank you for the support that you've given me. I know I would not be here without you. When I have opportunities in public platforms to say things like that, I say them out. I speak them out.
Opportunity right here.
Yes. To my hubby, Kamsa Namdido, who has been an amazing support. Thank you. So many times people remind me and they say, Ncazelo, you travel 2 months away from home. Not every woman can do that. Some partners get really uncomfortable. Recently, actually, my dad was saying to me, how does your husband feel about all these long trips that you make? And it had me remember once again that I need to say thank you, Mlilo, thank you for your love and for watching the kids when I'm not there and for being the present parent because I simply can't do that. So thank you, my love, and wish you blessings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's beautiful. That was beautiful. So, where in your journey did you have to stop waiting for permission and also start trusting your own authority in terms of leading with your own authority as a woman?
I think in different parts of my journey, I've had to do that. I can't really think of just the one moment. Mental health is an industry that's dominated by men, and it's also not
That's interesting.
very, very much dominated by men. And I might also say there are not that many Black women who lead in mental health spaces.
If you are.
So I'm just basically looking at it from a global perspective. And many times I've been made aware, like I'm thinking of being told that you are probably the first woman, Black person too, to teach with the British Psychology Association. I've taught Anna Freud. I have, you know,
So you're
Tavis
truly
Stock.
leading even in this industry.
Yes, yes. So not many Black people do that at a global level. And so I've had to take that.
Isn't it ironic though, with how many, with the social ills that we experience, especially as women on the African continent, and let me drill it down to Black women in terms of what they deal with in their homes, in their communities, from a wellness perspective. Isn't that ironic?
I suppose, one of the things that my work has been about is to really push for a mental health experience that is informed by African wisdoms and African culture. A lot of the times, what exists is very Western based. And so the ideologies around mental health might not necessarily be a very good fit for our culture. My work has done well globally. And that's one of the reasons. Because of migration, you have a lot of Black and ethnic minorities living in different parts of the world. And so, often people will say when we use Western ideas to provide therapy, people just switch off. But when we use your methodologies, people come alive, people feel included, stories about their heritage, their culture, their background, and who they are told. These are often left out in Western methodologies. And therefore, I find myself as a person who's been pioneering Afrocentric mental health interventions grounded in community, in culture, and in practices of Ubuntu.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So when we talk about dressing her in dignity, dignity is something that is it's practical, right? It also includes knowing what affects things like your income,
Yeah.
understanding your taxes, your tax position, having access to like important documents, like more than just your bank statements, like
Yeah.
you're married, your wills, all the shared assets that you have, and being able to participate meaningfully in the financial decisions in obviously within your personal space in your personal life. So I would ask, with this in mind, despite your professional success, what part of your money or tax or a long-term financial security did you have to learn to understand from the beginning, grassroots level, for yourself?
Yeah, I think, it's been learning when you make mistakes.
Absolutely.
And I can truly say I am a psychologist, I'm a narrative therapist. I do well in what I'm passionate about, but finances have always been, not that area.
Yeah.
And, looking back, I would have loved to have had an opportunity to learn more, about what it means, to run your finances in ways that would have good long-term outcomes for you. And I didn't have that. So it has been a trial and error sort of type of, experience. And it's definitely an area in my life that I would have loved to grow more in and to be a bit more intentional about. So I look at it that most of the time in the work that we do, we're driven by our passions, we're driven by our hearts, and that's where it all comes from. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we have all the skills that we need. And therefore, I think, that's definitely an area that I personally need growth and ongoing, support and development in. And I do, suppose a lot more women like myself, and I suppose institutions like yours can play a fundamental role in dressing us, in dignity, in that particular aspect of our lives and growth. So, yeah.
I love that you are sharing very vulnerably and openly
Yeah.
to say that there's still room and opportunity for you to learn
Yeah.
about an area that you're not well versed in.
Yes.
And it goes back to that village.
Yeah.
You need a village to lean on, to connect with, to help you with your weaknesses,
Yeah.
and vice versa. You are able to build up with your strengths.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
I love that. So, knowing that you are this woman who leads, however, you're not necessarily leading with strength when it comes to your finances.
Yeah.
It's Women's Month. This week, what would you like to start doing that is different, that you have not done in terms of your finances? And how do you want to start looking at, working through maybe even your tax position, even if it's not tax, but your finances?
I think one big thing for me right now, I've just come back from Nairobi, and I've found, so many women are building social enterprises and thinking about financial sustainability. That we can do these amazing projects, we can run the organizations and the entities that we are passionately sort of push forward. But without the financial sustainability, our work cannot go beyond our lifetimes. And so this is something that I came carrying from Nairobi, just the ambition to meet people who are experienced in creating financial sustainability for the work that I do primarily, but also for myself. I've just turned 50 years, and I think it's an important. I'm 51, not really. I've just turned 51. and
Youthful in your years.
and
Beautiful.
and so yeah, just thinking about, it's important to be answering these questions. It was very interesting to be at the Siegel Family Foundation event, and a lot of people who do the work that I do within the nonprofit sector were talking about, where do we retire to, and what have we prepared for ourselves for that moment, and these are the things we start to ask ourselves the older we get. So I'm really coming and advocating for intentionality around these issues, and so I will be looking for financial advisors, thinking about social enterprise, and all those kind of initiatives that really talk sustainability.
I'm loving how, going back to you are a healer, you heal others, but you heal others from being wounded.
Yeah.
So even now, you went as a healer in Nairobi.
Yeah. Yeah.
You came back with other people's wounds, but then there's
Yeah.
also the same internal wound, but actually now you want to fix that as well.
Yeah.
So you're a fixer.
Yeah.
Mngazelo is a fixer.
Yeah, I hold on. I grab to knowledge. When
Yeah.
people share ideas
Yeah.
with me, I'm a sponge, and I put things into practice, and that's what I'm going to be doing.
I love that. We love that. So, in closing, I just want to ask, this is
Yeah.
the final question. A woman is dressed in dignity when she leads how? And I'd like you, when you speak in your answer, speak to the people over there.
When she leads with heart, with compassion, when she leads in ways that open doors for those who are less vulnerable, when she carries others along with her, and she is founded on values um, that have a lot to do with her own history, heritage, culture, when we don't lose ourselves, and we share ourselves with the world. Yeah.
Sure. I felt that. I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
I felt that. I'm going to take that for myself. I'm going to be a sponge.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that many women as well within this month are actually going to grab that for themselves. How else are you leading? What does the next chapter look like for you?
What does the next chapter look like for me? I'm a creative. I think I'm a creative in many ways. Ideas just don't stop. But I definitely have a heart for young people. The organization I started has about 50 employees, and most of them are below the age of 35.
Wow.
And I love young energy around me. I love innovation. And so it's really about thinking about passing on what I have learned over the years to the young people I find myself privileged to be around. So it's about sharing and giving, but also receiving young energy.
Yes.
And so I think doing more of collaborations with young people. I really do believe that young people can change their communities. They can heal their, families. They can heal their own villages. And instead of staying home and saying, I'm unemployed, what can you learn that will have you contribute to your village and to your community? And in doing that, opportunities come up. We don't sit and wait for opportunities, we get involved. And in the course of doing that, doors open up for you. And so, really passionate about continuing to extend those sort of practices. We place young people in schools to provide psychosocial and mental health support. Young graduates who are sitting at home who've done a psychology degree, training them up on Afrocentric methodologies and, making them healers in their own families and in their own spaces. And it's done marvelously well in a lot of our schools in informal settlements. So wanting to grow those things that have worked and that have been, promising in terms of practice. So it's really continuing on the agenda of healing and finding my own healing.
Sure, what a beautiful story. Thank you so much for that beautiful storytelling.
Thank you very
And
much.
I now know why you are a psycho. It's a what's
Psychosocial expert or am a narrative therapist.
I love the narrative
Yeah,
therapist
I'm a
side of
narrative
it.
therapist. Yeah.
You've narrated your story very well, and I can see how storytelling again is so important
Yeah.
to the foundations of the Spirit of Ubuntu and Africa
Yeah.
as a whole. So, thank you so much. We've enjoyed this time that we've spent with you. We've received so many nuggets, and I'm hoping that many more women are going to have their sense of leadership just reignited again in how you've shown how you lead, in your personal space. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. And that's it. This is She Leads with Mam Ncazelo, and we will also share her social media handles so that you can follow her and see the work that she does. We're looking forward to a partnership with her, getting into those schools and helping express what you do even further and reaching other communities. That's it from us. Enjoy.